Okay, so this is an impromptu video about something that's just kind of rumbling around in my brain right now, and that is basically I am probably not the only one who is mentally, emotionally adjusting, preparing for a switch in perspective, insofar as coming to a realization that the services we have relied on as people, government services, government support, financial support, housing benefits, health services from the NHS, they are in decline in my country, and probably in the country you are viewing this in as well. And just I'm in that process of adjusting my expectations in terms of how we're going to look after ourselves and each other going forward, as these systems break down. And it is my opinion that they will continue to break down and not recover for the foreseeable future. And there is evidence enough to convince me that this is not a ridiculous point of view, and it is a point of view that, if you do not hold it, it is worth taking some time to consider the possibility that it is true and the implications it might have for you. And I think from personal experience, I can say that this adjustment is a process. I think depending on where you started out and how you have viewed government services up until this point in life. Personally, I have generally had the sense that the government is on my side, they understand my needs. Extensions of public services and the state are I have generally viewed them as kind and well-meaning, and just people who are employed to help and who want to help. And generally that is still the case from an individual point of view, like your average pharmacist, your average doctor, nurse, ticket issuer, parking inspector, police officer, maybe not so much when it comes to police, if it's ever been the case that they have been on the side of the public. But as this perspective begins to break down, I think you can allow yourself to have patience with the feelings that come up, like panic and anxiety. Personally, I someone who relies on regular medication for my mental health, and that gives me a lot of anxiety, thinking that supply of medication is coming to an end in my lifetime, and probably in the next few years, at least through the official channels. And so I am taking steps now to prepare for that ending, and perhaps begin thinking about new ways of sourcing the medications that myself and my community, or the people in my life, might need, and at the same time trying to find more accessible ways of stabilizing my own mental health, such as meditation, things like that, what have you. Obviously, these solutions have to be very personally tailored, but it starts with an acknowledgement that the state as we know it and state services as we experience them are in a state of decline, and they will be coming to some kind of end or some kind of disruption in the near future. And I think one of the biggest steps, or in fact the biggest step, is adjusting, mentally preparing for that eventuality so that it doesn't come as such a shock when it does happen, I think is a really good first step. So that's all I really wanted to say. Yep. Hope you're doing well wherever you are, and I hope you are able to look after yourself and support yourself and people close to you as we go through collapse together. Bye-bye.